Hello Internet, this is Kawa. Welcome to a new series. This is Ancient Domains of Mystery, also known as ADOM. We are but one step away from embarking upon a wonderful, terrifying, and exciting journey into the dark dungeons, mysterious caves, and dozens of other strange places. This game is a roguelike, if you haven't heard of it before. It was unique when it was first made in a lot of senses. It is it has history of being one of the only major closed source but free major roguelikes. It was developed pretty much entirely by one person named Thomas Biskup, and now after many years, it is finally being updated in a lot of ways. The most interesting of which, of course, is the graphics and the sound that you're currently hopefully hearing. There should be some very faint music going on in the background. And graphics with the help of Nicholas of the Eye, which is also helping for me to record this because Not I adds OpenGL support, which is great for fraps. Anyway, yeah, this is ADOM. This is a really important game for me. It is actually one of the first roguelikes I really fell in love with many years ago. So I'm really excited to bring this to you. This is Windows pre-release 20. And yeah, it has an overworld and a plot and multiple endings, which I will probably never get to because it is brutally difficult. And yeah, I really like this game, so I'm really excited to do this. Not I support does mean that I will have mouse control for this game, but I will probably not use it very much, amongst other things. So without further ado, let's generate a new character and get started. So this is the first different thing about ADOM. Character creation is very involved, and there is one element that you never get, okay, I think the music is still at a reasonable level, but if it's not, well, we'll find out. Anyway, there are star signs and a horoscope, all relevant to the mythos of this world called Ancardia. And you do not choose your star sign. And they do have benefits and downfalls for different effects. You can choose to ignore your star sign, of course, or not. There is also a mod for this game called ADOM Sage, which allows you to choose your sign. But I'm not using it. I'm going completely vanilla for this one. Yeah, so without further ado, I actually will acknowledge the fact that I do like the Month of the Dragon for combat characters. We'll see what that tactic settings and all that stuff means. But yeah, I wanna play around with this a bit. So yeah, let's go. Press space to continue. Let's create a specific character. Female, because I'm feeling female. They give a couple of pretty good recommendations for inexperienced players. I could go Dwarven Paladin, because I do want to play a melee combat character here. I want to experiment with some of the new content. So one of the things about this pre-release work towards ADOM 1.2 is that ADOM the Resurrection, as it's officially known, is that a lot of new content has been added to this game. If you played this game before 2 years ago or so, you know that there were no Mist Elves and no Ratlings. I have always really liked the idea of Ratlings, so I'm gonna play one. And we can explore the manual in the future for what all of this means. By the way, this game has an excellent manual. It is one of the few games left in the world that really rewards you for reading it. it's very clear that Biscup comes from a tabletop RPG background. So that might be worth looking into, but I don't think it makes necessarily for a good video. So right now I'm just gonna do my choices, and we'll explore what those choices mean in the future. I'm gonna go Rattling Duelist. Duelists are they have a weapon in one hand and the other hand empty, and they gain certain benefits for doing so. And we're given this whole thing of really amazing backstory, not all of which gets used, but is kind of interesting in its own right. You are born to a female Ratling, have brown hair, yellow eyes, and a brown complexion. Your parents are traveling adventurers. They are doing moderately well, are talented enough to survive. You live through happy days. Your parents try to ease your life as much as possible, give you a lot of comfort. You enjoyed competition against others. As a young adult, you were a credit to your family. Your parents supported your plans and were very understanding. They tried to help you along with all means. At the age of 13, you went to apprenticeship. You are now a fully learned duelist. This is a cool thing. You can sort of roll for your attributes, your basic stats, or you can actually answer questions to influence them in small ways. And I like doing this as on a role-playing standpoint, because this is such a role-playing heavy game. So let's play with them just because they're interesting. These are the kinds of questions you get. You know, your father wants you to help him build a new house for your family. This work will be very long and very hard, and your father's a harsh taskmaster. At the same time, your uncle, a merchant, wants you to accompany him on a trip to a distant and exotic city. Will you help your father with all your skill in order to further the welfare of your family, despite missing the opportunity to see new marvels and wonders? Help your father with all your skill until your uncle departs, and then accompany him? Feign to work hard, although you actually only do what is necessary to appear hardworking? Or accompany your uncle, enduring the pleas of your father? I like B. Compromising between the two of them and seeing both the impact of hard work and the impact of experience actually really speaks to me on a number of levels personally, so I like that one. After ending your apprenticeship, you travel the country for several years performing odd jobs in order to earn a living. While wandering the wilderness during an especially unrewarding winter, you come across a traveler gravely injured by wolves, barely conscious. Will you strip the traveler of everything valuable, strike the killing blow of mercy, camp for a few days and try to aid him as best as your skills permit, or carry him to the next village? I don't know if I would necessarily have the skills to help him myself, but I definitely would not leave him to die or give the mercy kill. Neither of those really appeal to me, so we'll go with D. While crossing a ford on a well-known road, you slip and break your leg. You muster all your strength to reach the shoreline. Your leg is badly hurt, and you can't travel fast enough to reach a safe place before dusk. So what do? Call for help, try to crawl to a safe place, pray to the gods, try to stabilize your leg and wait. I think D is probably my best bet for surviving. Lots of wood is needed to keep your home warm. In the vicinity of your home there is a sacred grove never touched. 2 hours away up a steep hill is a forest where the family used to fetch wood for centuries. Will you fetch the firewood from the far hills in order to keep in line with the traditions? Fetch the firewood out of the sacred grove because it's less work? Risk some cold nights because it's too much work and you don't want to anger the gods? Fetch lots of firewoods from the hills during the summer, even at risk for not having time for other chores, because this will allow you to have a large enough storage for the cold winter nights. I think D would work. I mean, I'm willing to put aside some cleaning for long-term use. And I mean, honestly, winter is a good time in cold places for other tasks like mending clothes and indoor tasks, so I feel like D. I like the idea of seasonality. You are in a nobleman's house as a dinner guest. While waiting in the library for your host, you notice a small old book beautifully covered with gold lacing and ivory carvings. The temptation is strong. Do you pocket the book, read it, Advise your hosts that a valuable should be better guarded. Admire the cover and look around for weapons and armor. I probably would be curious enough to read it. Like myself, as a character, as a rattling duelist, I realized that that the character would be more interested in weapons and armor. But I like the idea of also being a little well-learned, as well as knowing that I shouldn't be trying to steal things. Your brother's come asking that you hide him from the law. Do you send him away, let him in, and then sway his behavior, tell him he must repent, invite him to join your band of thieves? Definitely not D. Probably not A, as much as I probably could or should. Which brings me to B or C. I'd probably end up doing B, just knowing my nature. There were whispers throughout the lands of approaching chaos. The great sage, Kawa, warned all of the races a short time ago, but you had your suspicions beforehand. What was it that made you suspicious? The early snow and sudden frost? A strange, sickly bird? The behavior of the townsfolk? Or the barren trees about your home? So this is mostly about what you observe. The weather, the animals, the the plants and trees, or the people. I think the people in this case would make the most sense. Okay. We get one talent. There's so many talents. And they do all sorts of crazy things. Various to-hit bonuses for affinities. Oop, I am actually using the scroll wheel for this one. Bonuses to certain attributes, extra to hit and to damage. Some of these will stack on each other for other things. If we had 3 at once at level 1, we could get something like Treasure Hunter, or I think you can get Air with 3 or with 4. I don't remember. But we don't have enough for that. Various other small but useful things. I'm kind of feeling, starting money is not that important. Stealth might be nice if it works. It didn't used to work, but that might be one of the things that's been fixed since the resurrection started. Goodness, what? Long stride would be really nice, but we don't have to get it right away. I kind of want to pick up something that I can't otherwise get. Perception's always useful. Miser, no. I don't know. Let's actually pick... Skilled might be really handy, actually, given what some of the initial skill values are, so let's do that. My name is Kawa. So yeah, there's graphics in this game now. Oop. Is it control mouse wheel? Yes. I'm gonna be zoomed in a good bit so you can see the graphics. They're very detailed for what they are. I have turned on the grid in not I so you can see it. I am keeping the health bars on, which is a new thing for ADOM, but you know, it is what it is. The artwork is like, yes, I know I did an entire series on ASCII, and I can show you what this game looks like in ASCII if people really prefer it, but I am honestly really impressed with the graphics in this game right now. The team working on the Resurrection of ADOM did a great job with it, and the integration with Not I, with a few small exceptions, is really wonderful. So I'm gonna keep the graphics on, and admire their detail. I mean, look at these mountains. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's go. Let's follow this road. And here we are at Terinyo, a tiny hamlet. A few primitive cottages, a shop, and a village hall. Trees grow peacefully between the small homes of the local populace. You feel at peace. So that's like a small child over there. The mini map is kind of handy in that it is an ASCII, so I can always check on it if I'm confused about something. I wish there was a way to add transparency to it, so that I could see what's going on underneath it. I know I can change the size completely customizably in ADOM, but yeah. Oh, here's an interesting solution for those of you who were never sure in these graphical views how to deal with trees. Well, you can walk under tree tiles with trees on them, and they're translucent in the graphic implementation of ADOM, which I appreciate. Anyway, there's a bunch of people here worth talking to. That's the village elder, but I don't think we need over there in this hall. See that guy? And then over here at the water's edge should be, yeah, a druid. Now, this is one of those horrible sneaky things that I wish I had known, that I wish was made abundantly clear, but each of these guys has a quest, and they're mutually exclusive, and those quests lead to different skills. The druids leads to herbalism, and the other ones leads to healing. So it's not really useful to do the elder quest if you already have healing. But of course he was the first person I talked to the first time I played ADOM, because he was the first interesting NPC. But I was never told, hey, I have this quest, you could choose to take it or not. It was just an automatic, you have this quest now, even though it's not to your best interest. So yeah, this is, speaking of which, this is our current skill set. You get to it by pressing A. If there's a skill that needs to be actively used, like, I don't think we have it, first aid actually, is one, then we can just, select that letter and do that skill. Other ones are done automatically, like detect item status, or dodge, or find weakness. As we start, we'll probably focus on upping find weakness. There's a lot of really great skills here that'll be very useful to us. Certainly alertness, athletics, climbing for a later part of the game possibly. I don't know if we'll need concentration much. We're not going to be doing much spell casting, but who knows. Detect item status is nice, but it's not, I don't know if we need to actively train it necessarily. Dodge will probably train quite extensively. Same with find weakness and healing, and stealth. Unlike crawl, it is not that you turn skills on and they train in the background while you do other things. It's actually, a lot of that is done in the background. Sometimes you are happily surprised with certain skill, your skill has gone up by this messages if you've been using it a lot, or when you level you can actively put points into them. And actually those dice rolls you see over here tell you if you choose to up that skill manually how much it would go up by. So in this case, you take a random integer between 1 and 5 3 times, add them together, and that would be how much it would be upped. So yeah, very reliant on understanding of old RPG mechanics. And let's talk to Guthalak. He's the druid. Nope. That's a capital C. Recently we've been plagued by the attacks of an evil sorcerer. He once was a brother of my order, but now he has fallen for the dark powers. He's a black druid, corrupting the powers of nature and twisting them to suit his darker needs. His name is Keithrax. Find him and defeat him. He has set up his headquarters in a sinister cave to the southeast. If you return with success, I'll reward you. And let's just talk with Rint, just to see what he has to say. Life is hard these days. Monsters, wars, and dangers abound. He would suggest a different cave open up, a different beginner's dungeon open up, where you have to show mercy to someone in exchange for learning the skill healing. As I said, we don't need that, so we'll be fine. I'm exploring because there is someone else I do want to talk to. See, I don't want to use the auto walk. Here we go. No, that's not him. He's dressed differently than that. There is a baby water dragon named Blub who misses his mommy, but we don't have the experiences needed to help him find his mommy. No, you're just a farmer. Dang it. One thing I do kind of like is that it seems in a lot of the cases, the artwork for, the palettes of the artwork for the character, the monsters and characters are partially influenced by their colors in their ASCII version, which I think is kind of cool. You'll notice that the shops are in the ADOM, in the NetHack tradition of like shops with stuff on the floor and you pick them up and pay for them. You'll also notice that the same item will have multiple prices, like here's 27 gold for a ration, here's 36 for what looks to be the same one. It turns out that you could tell blessed, uncursed, cursed status this way. So let's go with that. Pay for that. Oh, I don't quite have that much money. Drop. Let's drop 1 and pay. Fine. Drop another 1 and pay. Munksip is the shopkeeper. Shopkeepers are hard to kill. Do not mess with shopkeepers unless you know what you're doing. Oh, this is the tiny girl. Let's talk to her. Have you seen my little doggy? Disappeared near the dark hole on the pass. Fears it got lost. Would you get it back to me? Hurry, Mommy says there are bad things in the cave. Don't actually do the puppy quest unless you know absolutely sure what you're doing. Yeah. If you want to know more, watch the listen to the Roguelike Radio episode on, the Hero Trap. This guy here is the Fool. Wherever you go, there you are. Sometimes he has useful... Wait till the dawn of time and your problems will be solved. Tiny Island is quite magical. Isn't that tragical? So some of these are hints for things later in the game. Some of these aren't. It can be hard to tell. I keep forgetting I could actually walk through the trees, but I really should keep that in mind. There is one other person I want to talk to, and he wanders, which annoys me. Because there's a quest I want. It's optional, and I know it's optional. But it's really handy for my character and well, for any female character, and I'll tell you guys why in just a second. Oh, there you are. Yeah, you're dressed differently from everyone else, that's right. This is the sheriff. Listen, Chronic the Raider is roaming the countryside. He's a nasty raider out on pillage. Slay him and you'll receive a nice reward. Abide by the laws and us will be friends. We set bounties on the heads of criminals. Bring them in. So there's a couple of uses for this guy. If you kill raiders or bandits and bring their bodies back to him, he'll pay you. There's also that Chronic quest. Unfortunately, that quest has a time limit. Actually, I think it's a level limit. And B, requires roaming the overworld, which eats up hunger like no one's business. And the reward is a lawful boost, but it's also gold. Now here's the thing. The gold might not necessarily be useful in and of itself, but as we're about to see, besides buying more food, there is someone else for whom spending money would be worthwhile. And they'll be over here. This is an outlaw settlement. I do not know how to read that name. I do know that it's an anagram of the phrase hole in the wall, so I'll probably end up calling it hole in the wall, like most ADOM fans do. It's a Duralacid and muddy settlement populated by equally Duralacid and muddy persons. There's assassins and things here. Question mark E, then E will actually let you observe. Okay, the cut versus hostile. I don't want to mess with anyone right now. And I mean, he'd be... And unfortunately in ADOM, what you kill first doesn't matter. Here's another shopkeeper. A black market with very expensive things. This is not why I want the gold from the Chronic quest. But I do want to walk in here and read and see what he has for sale. If only because it may help me identify things in the future. Like, now I know what a Scroll of Amnesia is, I know what a Scroll of Darkness is, and a Scroll of Identify. If there were potions here, that would be nice too, but there aren't. There's a mugger trying to kill me. There's a bandit trying to kill me. Let's actually turn on... So this thing is, the F1 through F7 keys. There's other ways of accessing it, but, they access something called tactics. And these tactics are really important because, you can be anything from Berserk to Coward and everything in between. You start out at normal, but these bonuses are, can be the difference between life and death. Anyway, I want to talk to the Master Thief. You should prove your skill and valor before we talk about business. You nonetheless could use some trading to be prepared for the future. Yes, I would like to learn from you. And he teaches you how to pick pockets. If you pick pockets enough times, Yurgius will accept you into the guild, and from there, other things will happen accordingly. This guy here is, oh, I keep pressing X to look at things as if I'm playing Crawl. This guy is Hots and Plots. He has a couple of chaotic quests, including a variant on the healing quest. No, I don't want to deal with you guys. Okay, I'm faster, so that's... There's a mad doctor over there who I also... Oh no, you I want to talk to. No, you're not the one I want to talk to. There's one other person who I may even go so far as to, like, get out of this place because... Yeah, I don't want to deal with the hole in the wall very much, but there's someone I really want to buy from. No, don't do this to me. Keep running. No. Okay. It'd be different if I hadn't, like, somehow attracted a crowd. Well, I can't find them. I'll come back here later. Basically, there's a ratling here who sells keys. Buying those keys would be immensely nice, for the future. And those keys are fairly expensive, but you can afford a full set of them with almost certainty if you are a female who has won the Chronic quest, because he gives a discount for ladies, and the Chronic quest gives enough gold to do it. So that's why I always accept a Chronic and see if it happens. Anyway, I'm going to stop it here, check my settings, see if this works. If it does, well, you'll see it. If not, well, I'll probably save this character, rename it, restart. Next time, I guess we'll actually go into one of the dungeons and start fighting. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.